Hey, back on the Pig Trail, we're talking hoops again, and this time with our hoops insider. That is Kevin McPherson from Hogville.net. Kevin, let's go back to yesterday's game, and a good one for Arkansas. 12-point victory. Daniel Gafford, just as Avery Johnson mentioned, on another level. This guy had 29 points, 16 boards.
Yeah, I mean, if that was his farewell to Bud Walton Arena, and everybody's expecting he's going to leave school after this sophomore season, enter the NBA draft, that's the way you want to go out. 29 points, career high 16 rebounds. He controlled both ends of the floor, I thought, and one play was really a microcosm when he did the crossover dribble, went coast to coast, and a Euro step to a lay-in. You want to go out in style, but a few years ago, Bobby Portis had a big game in his final home game at Bud Walton Arena, but Arkansas lost to LSU. Gafford not only had an outstanding individual performance, but he was the big shot in the arm, and the reason why Arkansas has now won 3 straight wins, going into the SEC tournament, still postseason life to play for. Probably a solid fit for the NIT, but maybe some NCAA tournament aspirations still with a couple or 3 wins in the SEC tournament.
Okay, 2 guards here, Isaiah Joe, Desi Sills. Those guys were good yesterday. Joe, we've seen him score more points than 15 in a game, but that's what he had yesterday. Did a lot of other things, rebounding, had a lot of steals. Also, Desi Sills, this guy, what a spark now that he's in the starting lineup. That guy finished with 11 in the game for Arkansas.
Yeah, I mean, Isaiah Joe tied his career high 6 rebounds, a career high 6 steals. He did a little bit of everything. He dunked the basketball, got an offensive rebound and a putback. But at both ends of the court now, we're seeing he's more than a 3-point shooter. He finishes the regular season as the second leading scorer among SEC freshmen, just 5 points off Tyler Hero at Kentucky. But the SEC's leader in 3-pointers made, Arkansas's all-time single-season leader in 3-pointers made, leads the SEC in 3-point percentage, and he leads Arkansas in steals now, or has been all season. He's top 10 in the SEC there at 7. So Isaiah Joe, he's more than a 3-point shooter, and he's just gotten better and better inside that arc as the season moved on. Desi Sills, I thought since he's been injected in the starting lineup, it's a big reason why Arkansas has made this push. Solid defensively, probably made them better defensively, but he's doing such a good job moving without the ball in offense and feeding off guys like Gafford and Isaiah Joe, setting up on those wings, his catch and shoot. He's been 7 of 11 from 3 in the last 5 games and averaging nearly 10 points a game. So I think both of those guys, the backcourt, have really complimented Gafford in this stretch.
Recruiting now, Jersey Wolfenbarger. What about her, considering she's out of the class of 2021?
She's a sophomore, but she scored 23 points Friday in the state championship game and hit the game winner with under 5 seconds left as Northside beat Bentonville in a thriller. And then yesterday she was at Bud Walton Arena, and I've talked to her about recruiting. I did an interview with her. The only school she brought up is Arkansas. She's got an Arkansas offer. She talked about Coach Neighbors. We see what a job he's done getting that team to the SEC tournament finals. But she's a Razorback fan. She's close with Isaiah Joe. They work out together in Fort Smith. But there's a name to keep an eye on. She's arguably the top player in the state on the women's side.
Let's group these last 2 as we close. Jalen Williams out of the class of 2020, and then we saw Chris Moore at Bud Walton Arena yesterday.
Those guys are going to team up this summer in the spring and summer grassroots. Chris Moore was at Bud Walton Arena yesterday. It was an unofficial visit. We know Arkansas's high on his priority list and vice versa. But he bowed out in the 5A tournament semifinals, so he didn't get to it finals again this year. But a great season for him, a double-double machine. And then Jalen Williams, probably the biggest name right now emerging out of that junior class. He's got an Arkansas offer. He wants to take an official visit to Arkansas as soon as he can. But he won MVP honors leading Fort Smith Northside to the 6A state boys title. 20 points, 16 rebounds, 3 blocks, just a monster game for him as he continues to raise his profile on the recruiting trail.
Kevin, great stuff as always. You can see his stuff on Hogville.net. We have some football news coming up. Spring football rolling on for Arkansas. That's after this.